Today I'm going to interview my good friend here in front of us, Armin Rohn. Armin, I'd like you to tell people a little bit about your athletic career, how old you are, how tall you are, and where we've kind of gone over the months in the past.
All right, so I am 25 now, about 5'11", 6 feet tall at this point, weighing at this point about 196. Previously was, when I started with Bert, 166, but I had a lot of fat because I had hadn't been doing any kind of running or athletic training, anything of that sort at the time. So when I started off, I actually dropped down to 153, but basically I was getting rid of a lot of that fat, and so basically from this point forward I've moved up to 195 with really lean muscle being gained from that point. And so a little bit about my background though. I've been in athletics for a very long time, whether it's basketball or track. Really, track has been the major thing that I've done throughout my life. From 5th grade to my senior year in college, I was running track. So it's a lot of years under my belt in that. I've trained with a number of different coaches when it comes to weight training, strength training, running training, just different methodologies and whatnot. And yeah, so.
All right, so Armin, tell me, we got down to 153 and we got up to 197, a 40+ pound gain of lean muscle. Can you tell us, please, how long that took you?
It's probably about 4 or 5 months, 6 at the max.
So we're talking 4 to 6 months. You gained over 40 pounds of muscle, and we know that that was muscle because you went back to an invitational track meet. And what happened?
So basically, I went back to an invitational track meet at the college that I went to, university. And basically, I mean, after not doing any running for really at that point over a year, I was able to go out there and really, compete with a lot of the people that had been training from the time that I had left, or even, longer than that.
So you gained 40-some pounds of muscle with what we were doing in a 4 to 5 month period, and were able to still have your athletic competition, but you were a much stronger individual overall. What were the major things that helped in this training, and what was different about the training?
So really the major things here, really kind of the foundations, the base, recovery. Recovery is huge, and then of course the nutrition. I mean, you really can't expect any kind of results without those, and that's what I found. The nutrition is ultimately the building blocks of putting the muscle together, of building that muscle. I mean, just to kind of give you an idea, the entire time that I was running track, I really wasn't able to put on much lean muscle, but just within that short amount of time, because of the nutrition, the supplements, the recovery that I really didn't know was needed, I was able to put on that muscle just really because of how the system works. And if you do that, then you're going to put on the muscle.
How much briefer was the training, Armin?
The training was a lot briefer. I mean, just to kind of give you an idea, in terms of general, whether it was college or different, people that I've worked with in weight training, we'd probably be in the gym for at the very least 45 minutes, sometimes longer than that, throughout the entire weightlifting process, multiple sets. So basically the training was a lot briefer here. So at most what I do with Bert is 15 to 20 minutes in terms of actual lifting. So it's a lot briefer,
And more intense, correct?
Yes, a lot more intense. It's the most intense workouts that I've really ever had in terms of lifting, especially. Just to kind of give you an idea, especially when I first started, I was like, man, this is something that's completely different than the multiple sets, which can they wear on you, but it's never that just that feeling of really almost exhaustion. But you can tell that you're getting the results from this intensity of work.
So this intensity helped you also when you went back to do that running with no practice at all.
Exactly. I mean, I'd say the thing that I thought about when running those meets or afterwards was just the fact that it was just off of strength. I mean, no specific training for running, no sprint training, nothing of that in terms of that kind of endurance which you think of, but the training in weightlifting and building that muscle, which is your endurance anyway,
and your strength and power, correct?
Right, exactly. That allowed me, without doing anything else, to go out there and compete at a level with others who had been, doing that specific training and doing the other typical methods of weight training that I had done before.
So had you done a lot of that specific training without overdoing it, you've learned that then in putting something to this in a description, you worked out way less, but more effectively or more intensely. You got a lot more food and different types of food than are prescribed, especially you didn't do a lot of carbs. And what you did was you learned that rest and time off to sleep and recover and allow the body to repair was more important, correct?
Right, exactly. I mean, and I think the biggest thing that, I kind of took away from this is it's just the fact that these things aren't, things that, in terms of the rest, in terms of the eating of right foods, I'd say really the biggest thing that was kind of different was the rest, the recovery. I mean, I think kind of the mindset that a lot of coaches have today is that the harder we work or the more we work and just kind of pile it on, the better results we're going to get. But that's really not the case, because with that recovery, I was able to see that performance and actually building of that strength was greatly increased.
Thank you, Armin. I appreciate that. Would you say anything to other people out there considering this? You read my book, you read the things that I talk about, and tell people just real quickly, if you will, what have you seen? Have you seen this affect people's health in any way?
Absolutely. I mean, it's basically, there's countless amounts of people that I've seen, whether it's really ultimately, we're talking about weight training and whatnot, but all of this goes hand in hand with healing of diseases, cancer, diabetes. I've seen people who have been in very, very bad shape with cancer, diabetes, like I said, other diseases, and ultimately it's the same thing, the nutrition, the rest, the recovery that allows them to recover from these things, as a whole. And really there's the one thing I think of it as, it's a system that works. And if you do these things, you will get better, you will build muscle, you will, you will be healed from your ailments. You'll be able to lose fat if you're trying to do that. It's all part of the same thing, and it all works.
Right. So you'd say that you've taken away from this something that will last for a lifetime, not just the training for a sport.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's not the nutrition part. It's not just what you call a diet. It is a lifestyle of eating that will ultimately improve your health for the rest of your life. I mean, and yeah.
Thank you, Armin. I appreciate you coming in today and doing this for us and letting people know what you found. So gaining muscle is much easier than people think. It just has to be effective.
Correct.
Thank you.